isn't life, dough.
What we need is a Sega.
That's a games console.
Plug me in and things will really liven up. You can get loads of Sega games like Outrun, Double Dragon, Shinobi,
Ghostbusters! And the graphics, well,
and you can buy extra bits like these.
3D.
Oh, you look
Weird.
Okay, do us a favour. Plug me into a Sega.
Now whack on the patches and I'll get back to sleep.
The Sega Master System, an afterthought in North America, but in Europe, the UK and South American countries such as Brazil, a massive success. Released in the late 80s, when most of the UK was more interested in ZX Spectrums and Commodore 64s, Sega produced a console at a low price point with an advertising campaign that promised bringing the arcade home. A lot of people bought them, we all looked forward to them, and although the arcade versions were usually a lot closer than we got on the ZX Spectrum, were they always that great? Well, this is the top 10 greatest Sega Master System conversions, as voted by yours truly. This is totally my own opinion. There's no kind of reviews or anything gone into this. This is based on my opinion on which ones are the most fun, as well as being the most faithful. So here we go, the top 10 Sega Master System arcade conversions. So kicking things off at number 10, we have the Master System version of Outrun. Now there was a lot of really poor versions of Outrun over the years, the Amstrad CPC version being particularly terrible. For me, it wasn't until the Sega Saturn that a truly great version of Outrun was released on the home consoles. But the Master System version is not bad at all. It plays fast, it plays fun. It moves along at a fair lick. The graphics look a little bit sort of super deformed if you like, but it's still fun. Not as great as it could be, and it's certainly not a patch on the original, which is why it only rates as number 10, but still worth picking up. Number 10 is Outrun. Number 9 is Bonanza Brothers, a little bit out of left field this one, and a little bit of a misnomer being that you only ever get to play as one of the brothers, unlike the arcade machine which splits screen let you play both. This is a great, unusual game. Basically you play as a little burglar who's got to sneak around, shooting the police to stun them and stealing the jewels and cash before making his getaway. The original ray trace style graphics have been recreated in a different sprite based style on the Master System, but they still look great. I think the simplistic version of this game really helps it on the Master System. It's very addictive, it's got that one more go feel about it. It's available cheap and nobody ever talks about it. If you get the chance, play Bonanza Brothers, it's great. Number 8 is another one you don't hear a lot about, and you really should. It's Super Space Invaders from Domark. This is a conversion of Space Invaders 91 in the arcades. Now it retains just enough of the original Space Invaders to be that game we all love and still be addictive without changing too much. However, the changes they did make are excellent. Other than the fancier graphics, the way that you pick up power-ups to increase your game, a little bit Arkanoid style I always thought. And the way it changes up the aliens each round, so they may drop into a different style, they may expand when you shoot them. It's also got little bonus rounds where you have to try and save cows from being mutilated, and lots of little animated humorous cutscenes. It's absolutely brilliant. There was an excellent version of this on the Commodore Amiga as well if you're looking for others. But absolutely try Super Space Invaders. It's one of those games you can just bang on and play for half an hour and absolutely love. Number 8, Super Space Invaders. Number 7, I'm a little bit torn on. Number 7 is the absolute classic by Taito called Bobble Bobble. Now, I absolutely love this game in the arcades, and I absolutely loved the NES version. The Sega Master System version, as you can see, looks almost identical to the arcade. It plays very well. There's just a couple of things that stop it being higher. I do feel the controls are a little bit slippier than they were on the NES, but the real thing that lets it down is the sound. Bobble Bobble always had such a great soundtrack, and whilst the Master System is attempting to do that soundtrack, listen to it, it just sounds terrible. It should be a lot higher up on my list by how much I love Bobble Bobble, but I just can't get out of my head that the Master System version is inferior to the NES version, and mainly because of that music. Sad, but it's still absolutely fantastic game and well worth playing. So number 7 is Bobble Bobble. Now, speaking of soundtracks, here's one I really like. Number 6 on this list is Rastan, another Taito game. This is the story of a barbarian not dissimilar to Conan who must hack and slash his way across various levels of creatures, goblins and wizardy types. Now obviously the graphics have taken a little bit of a hit from the original arcade, but that's to be expected. It still looks great, but more importantly it plays amazing. It's so addictive. It's one of the best arcade games on the Sega Master System. Obviously, that's why it's on this list. But it's one of those games that whenever I hear NES fans talking about, they do say, I wouldn't have minded Rastan. Great game, again, doesn't cost a lot, which you tend to find with a lot of Master System games. But it's a game I come back to again and again. Number 6 on my list, Rastan. Number 5 is Shinobi, a conversion of the classic Sega 16 arcade board. An absolutely brilliant game. I'm a huge fan of the original arcade game of this. It was back in the time in the 80s when ninjas were cool. Now, the Sega Master System version is excellent. It doesn't quite play exactly the same as the arcade. They made some changes to it. Collecting the missing children now gives you different power-ups, allows you into the bonus stage and thereforth. But it's excellent, it's absolutely brilliant. It's better than all the other versions I've seen, with the exception of possibly the PC Engine version. It's another game that won't cost you an arm and a leg, and it's infinitely playable. Number 5 is Shinobi. Now number 4 is Wonder Boy in Monster Land. And keeping to just one game per franchise, it was a tough decision between the original Wonder Boy and this. However, this one wins out by being a little bit deeper and a little bit cooler. I remember first playing this on my friend's Master System as a kid, and I had not played anything like it. I didn't actually play the arcade game until later. And it's unusual to see such a game like this in the arcades, something with a little bit of an RPG element to it. The graphics are absolutely great, look at it. It's cute, it plays well, it's got a little bit more depth than you'd find in your average Master System game. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think it was released on any other system. Feel free to correct us on that, other than releases on the likes of the 360 and the PS3. Anyway, it still plays fantastically today. It absolutely oozes with charm. So my number 4 is Wonder Boy in Monster Land. Number 3 is Choplifter, the arcade conversion where your mission is to rescue the hostages whilst avoiding fiery death. This is one of those games that it's tough to play, but it's the right kind of tough. If you die, it's your fault. This was converted to many systems, but for me the Master System version is the best. I even prefer this over its arcade original. Play it again and again. Number 3, the excellent Choplifter. Number 2 is R-Type, one of my all-time favourite shooters. I remember first seeing this in an arcade in Devon or Cornwall when I was a child, being absolutely blown away by it. The Master System version is very good. It's a very close conversion. It does have a little bit of flicker, but that can't be helped. It's a lot closer than most of the conversions out there. The ZX Spectrum having a particularly good one. My favourite conversion of R-Type tends to be the Amiga, but the Master System version even has things the Amiga didn't have, such as the fading in and out backgrounds. It's an absolute must-have Master System game. That's why it's number 2 on my list. It's R-Type. So, before we get to the number 1 on this list, these are some honourable mentions. These may have not been in my top 10 arcade conversions to the Master System, but they are still totally worth your time. So here we are to my final pick. The number 1 arcade conversion on the Master System, in my humble opinion, is Ghouls and Ghosts. Now look at that game running. It's hard to believe that's actually a Master System running that. It's an absolutely fantastic version of a classic game. Most people are only familiar with the Mega Drive or arcade versions of Ghouls and Ghosts, but the Master System version is well worth a look as well. It plays slightly different to the others in that it actually incorporates a sort of mini RPG element to it, which the others don't have. Go out there and pick up this game. It is, in Gamer Size opinion, the best arcade conversion on the Sega Master System. So, there you have it. That's my top 10 Sega Master System arcade conversions. Let me know in the comments field, which are your favourites? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there any glaring omissions? Or have you got any recommendations? Anyway, till next time, this has been GamerSci. Keep it hard.